And welcome back to the operating room. I am your lead physician for this particular surgery, Dr. John Wolfenstein here. And today we are back in the wonderful seas of Vodari. And I am taking on the Master of the Seas title for this adventure. First things first, however, I would like to, of course, make a few little announcements. Now that weather and work have permitted, I will be streaming Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song this upcoming Tuesday morning. Little late in the morning. Actually, a little early in the morning, a little late Monday night. The stream should start about 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it will go basically until I grow tired or I grow bored. But either way, it'll last at least an hour, probably 2.
4 a.m. is late morning?
For me.
Holy shit.
Um,
I'm scared to see what 9 a.m. is.
That is the middle of the night.
What?
Welcome to Graveyard.
I was going to say, there's only 2 times of day for graveyard employees. There is morning, which is whenever you're awake, and there is nighttime, which is whenever you're asleep.
Yeah.
There is no daytime.
There is no daytime.
But
Daytime is confusing, that's why we ignore it.
well, daytime never
I've
applies
done
to
graveyard shits at a gas station before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so daytime never applied to you. So there's no point in even keeping track of it.
Yes.
But with that being said, so I will be streaming that game for those of you who are interested in Vampire the Masquerade. Of course, I know I am, and I know I love that.
Introduce you
particular
to
game.
my wife. Oh, John. Say hi, hon.
But as we continue on with our announcements, I have launched a Patreon, as some of you may know, and I hope as most of you have joined. My Patreon has various tiers, starting as low as $3 a month to as high as $25 a month. Each tier unlocks new homebrew items or sets that I design. My first tier being spells. As spells are the most popular, I figured it would be easiest to put them as the lowest. After all, it's pretty easy to create a whole page of spells. Of course, for $3 a month, you get access to the entire list I am in the process of making. For $5 a month, you get access to the item shop, which will be my homebrew items. For $10, you get access to the monsters that I custom create. This last month and this month will be timber wolves. They are not quite what you think. Or maybe they're exactly what you think, depending on how crazy you actually are. For $15 a month, you get the Species Collector, which is the homebrew player character species that I will come out with. That one, I will admit, is a little less updated. However, as with all the other tiers before it and after it, you get access to anything that came out before. The $20 a month tier is the class customization tier, where my homebrew subclasses will be accessible to you, my fantastic peoples. You, of course, also have access to all of the tiers that came before. And last but certainly not least is the DM tier. For those of you who are dungeon masters, want to be dungeon masters, or just want to be in the know, or have personal requests made, I will, of course, be offering as the big gimmick for the $25 a month tier, I will be offering one free request every month. You can either ask me to build you a custom homebrew species, an item, a monster, or a pair of spells.
Oh my god.
And you get to do this once every month. This will be done by personal email, and I will send it to you and you alone as soon as it is ready. And you alone will be able to tell me exactly what you want and if you want to share it with the public. And if you do, then I will happily share it. But in answer to some of Riker's questions, Liger is not on that list, and no, I do not teach craps. Mostly because I don't want to deal with underage gambling or the threats therein.
Yeah. Don't do that, guys.
Yep, don't do it, and it's not worth my headache or hassle. But with all that being said, we are ready to begin. I honestly think so. When last we left off, our player crew, I think that's the best way to call it, our player crew was in the town of Gemnackle, which is part of the Zoleni, what do we want to call it? Kingdom? Tinkerdom?
Realm. Archipelagus.
It is part of the island of Zolen.
Archipelago.
It's not an archipelago. There's nowhere big enough to be a continent. Point remains is on the island of Zolen lies Gemnackle, a subsidiary city, that'll work, of Zoleni, the kingdom of tinkerers, inventions, and all things technological. However, our heroes had thwarted an attempt by one of the guild leaders of Zoleni to murder another. The Chancellor, the guild leader, known as Graf Thundren, is looking to expand Zoleni into a military power, as well as a kind of predominant tinker power. In so doing, he is trying to unite the other guild masters behind him to force the Chancellor to do just that. However, some of the guild masters do not agree with him and are not going to support him. The most infamous and loud spoken of being Pip Cogsgroove. She is the clockwork specialist. She wants to focus the island nation of Zoleni on economy and science, not militarization. She operates the Guild of Machinists. Excuse me. She has a few allies among the other guild masters, but it was her as the most outspoken proponent against the militarization, and so Graf had planned to assassinate her. Unfortunately for him, it did not work. Unfortunately for our crew, they managed to save her. Now, after she has arrived in Gemnackle, our crew has managed to weasel their way into being her protection detail, along with a newcomer that the guildmaster brought herself. Mithra, excuse me.
Take your pick.
Right.
It could be either.
But Mithra tagged along with the guildmaster to reach Gemnackle, and now She has joined the crew as part of the security that is going to be looking after the Guildmaster while she judges the Festival of Inventors. One of Gemnackle's more proud traditions is every year they have an inventor an inventor showcase where the most brilliant inventors of Gemnackle compete with each other to see whose invention can please the machinist. And of course, the winner not only gets their project fully endorsed and fully licensed and financially backed, but also gets to make it for Guildmaster Pip in order to increase their own prestige. And they become an official member of the Guild of Machinists. So, as you guys were brought into the inn suite by Pip, she divvied you all up into rooms and basically gave you the lowdown, which is she believes Graf Thunderin is trying to kill her. And she does not know how he will plan to do this or how he plans to do this, but she does know that he is trying to kill her. Our party may have mentioned some of their overarching goal, which is mostly to save her, but also to talk the other guilds and the Chancellor away from war. After all, the Orcana, the were-orc people, are planning a massive spell that will sink most of the island of Zolen, destroying the entire city of Zoleni and all its people in an instant. Probably also getting to Hope and Gemnackle as well, but no one's sure. But what is sure is Zoleni itself will be wiped off the face of the map if the Orcana people and Zoleni do not come to terms. So, as you guys are in this room and have gone over all this, she kind of stands up. Excuse me. She stands up and bows her head. Well, I will take my leave and prepare for tomorrow's festivities. The festival is going to last a total of 3 days. The first day will be the participants making their entries and signing up. The second day will be the demonstrations where they will show me and the other judges what their inventions can do. And the final day will, of course, be the judgment. Once that happens, I will then be returning to Zoleni. I would ask that you, and she gestures to the Niafta crew, I would ask that you accompany me back to Zoleni as well. I will be extending your contract, as I don't think that Graf will give up just because he fails to kill me here.
Question
Sure.
DM.
Yep, we can agree on that.
Yes, Vex.
Have we mentioned Blackhand yet?
Yes. Xavier mentioned killing one assassin and presented his proof.
Yeah. I remember that.
To which Pip
I
congratulated you.
I just needed a refresher.
No worries.
Sure.
But, is there anything else? As she nods her, as she looks to everyone. Well, I certainly hope that everything goes smoothly, and I will see you all on the morrow. If at any point in time you need me, or need to get a hold of me, my room is here, my bedroom door is there. And she gestures to one of the rooms.
Before I head out, Madam Pip, it is part of my contract stipulation that I put in a good word for Mr. Robotic.
She just
And
looks at you, frowning.
I understand your current disposition towards him, but there is...
He put new teeth in him.
What? No, I didn't hear honestly what Emil said. It just came out as like high-pitched noise.
He modified my jaw.
Take my camera off.
He
put
said,
new teeth in him.
That said, the contract merely stated that I put in a good word for him, not that you accept said good word.
She
so,
holds up a
good
hand.
Word given.
Consider your good word given, your contract fulfilled. I am not entertaining that madman's pleas to rejoin the Machinist Guild at this point in time.
I just need to get it said and done so that I no longer have to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
Consider it said, consider it done.
I got a question. Me. And he's like raising his hand and like standing on his tiptoes and stuff.
Yes?
Well, are you still gonna... What's at the festival, aside from a bunch of inventions? Are there, like, rides and food and stuff?
Food, yes. Rides, no.
Oh, then it's not a real festival.
Breathe.
She kind of just smiles.
It's not a real festival unless there's, like, a big old Ferris wheel and a roller coaster and at least one person dies while falling off of it.
A what?
A what?
Pretty sure that's called a carnival. I'm pretty sure that's called a carnival, not a festival.
No, it's a festival.
Fine
What about
festival.
music festivals?
She just shakes her head. I can't imagine what goes on inside your mind.
Not
Or
if
under
we-
the sea?
Either.
Well, in any event, it was a long train ride, and I am going to be busy the next couple days, so I will take the time to get well-deserved sleep now.
Yes.
Did we
Will
set
we
up
be able
watch?
to enjoy the festival, or do we just have to, like, sit and watch you the whole time?
You'll be hovering
Nick.
around me. I will tell you if I need you to go get things, fetch things, or of that nature.
Will we be able to
I'm
have
pretty
fun at
sure-
the festival?
You will be escorting me around, so you will likely be able to see all of the festival.
Are you gonna have fun at the festival?
I typically do.
Yay!
To
I
answer
want
your
to try all the new
question,
food.
to answer your question, Mithria, I believe you and Niafta will be sharing the room with Miss Pitt. As you are the only
That is
other
fine,
female
but-
in this room.
That is true. This is a suite. There are other rooms available. So, my idea was that Mithra and Niafta would be taking shifts guarding me while I am in these suites. The rest of you will be guarding the hallway that we are on and the floor that we are on.
I can take up quite a lot of the hallway, so I'll take first watch on that.
Yes, please.
Very good. Well, then if you will excuse me, I will leave you to your setup and your watches. Thank you again for taking the contract. And
Absolutely.
with that, she gives a little bow to everyone and then enters her room.
Girl, she's pretty.
We agree. Now, is there any where we can get some food ourselves? I cannot sleep on an empty stomach.
Go down to
you
the
can go
inn
down
and
to
order
the kitchen in the inn and get food there.
Yes.
I'm going to go into the hallway and set up at the top of the stairs, similar to how a rattlesnake would position itself as lie in wait.
Alright, fair enough.
Because weren't there only 2 rooms on like the suite floor?
Yes.
Yeah, we have the other room.
Yeah.
KSI, welcome to the pack. Thank you so much. So, it sounds so. Getting food is no trouble, and as you get food, you are more than able to eat it in your rooms. Pretty much eat it wherever you would like to. As you settle in for the evening and begin to take watches, it sounds like Valor's on first watch in the hallway.
Yep.
Xavier will be last watch in the hallway.
Right.
I'm gonna ask, so, Nefira? Nefita? How do you say that?
Niafta.
Niafta.
Niafta. Sorry, I will get this one day, I promise.
What's my name? Can you say my
Just read
name?
it. Just read it.
Niafta?
Yeah.
Which watch do you want to take here in the room? We should probably keep an eye just in case someone
probably-
gets into alternate methods.
I'm gonna take the third watch.
So you guys actually have a harder job. Is there's only 2 of you, so you split it between first and second watch.
Oh, first and second?
Because
Okay,
we're gonna-
take the second
Because we
then.
need to watch the room.
Yeah. So
You guys
Niafta
get to
says
watch
she will take
inside the
second.
room.
So Mithira, it sounds like your first watch.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Valor and Mithira, please roll me perception checks.
The
Mm-hmm.
As this is a wood floor and I have the body of a snake, would I get any advantages to feeling for shifts in the wood?
Vibrations?
I didn't think I'd get this far.
I would
That's interesting,
say
actually.
yes, because enough of your body and enough of your tail would be stretched out on the floor in order to do that. So yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because you're a big boy.
I'm a long boy.
Well, he's a big boy. He's the biggest boy. He's the big boy. He's the biggest boy.
Well, so much for that advantage. Availed you not.
I know, right?
Wow.
However, a 19 is still respectable. However, Valor, you feel a lot of vibrations coming from below you. Not so many coming from on the same floor as you. And you do hear people moving throughout the inn. As you were told and as you saw, Gemnackle is filling up with inventors. Even some from Zoleni itself have come to Gemnackle. You also get the feeling that any inventors from Hope, which granted is more of a farming village, but any inventors from there have also come to ply their wares and, show off their skills. So the inn is filling up.
I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of weird looks because I'm at the top of the stairs like a rattlesnake.
Well, on the plus side, it does. So it is one set of stairs to a landing, and then from that landing up is another set of stairs. So no one's directly looking up at you, and you're not directly looking down at anyone unless someone's coming up. So it's a little less creepy. Not by much, but a little less.
I'm still a very good deterrent.
No, that is
You
correct.
know those memes when you look up at the ceiling and you just see a snake? And you're just like, nope, rope. Just kidding. Snakes don't do that. Spiders do, but not snakes.
Oh, snakes do that. I'm gonna show you a video.
Really?
Mithira,
Yeah, they can. I was gonna.
as you're moving about the room, and after getting her rest in,
Mhm.
you don't hear anything. But what you do is go to the window every now and then and kind of peek out of the blinds and the draperies. And as you do, you can see that the town is setting up booths, stalls, and stands in order to facilitate the festival tomorrow. It is a buzz of activity, and you're honestly kind of surprised that the guildmaster can sleep with all this noise going on. However, then again, maybe it's not so surprising considering she is the head of the Machinists Guild, and
Yeah.
you're sure there's lots of weird clickety-clocketies, jetpack rocketies going on.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But she seems to be sleeping soundly. In fact, you press your ear to the door and there's a soft snoring sound, but there's also a weird click. It sounds like just a click, 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 click.
Like a like a clock or something.
Not quite like a clock, because you have seen her clockwork clocks. But it sounds definitely like clockwork gears just turning slowly.
Mhm.
All right.
Aside from that, there's nothing to cause you alarm. About
Okay.
about halfway through your shift, about 2/3 of the way through your shift, Mithira, you do hear the changing of the guard outside. Valor, who would you turn over the watch to? Reeve?
Well, there's no one else, so yes.
I was gonna say, you also said Xavier had the last one, so I'm like, well, who else is there but me?
I don't know. Maybe Valor thinks there's someone else there who's not really there. Maybe he sees
His
dead
tail.
people. You never know.
No, I'm not that crazy. Not yet.
Not yet.
No. What he's gonna do is he's gonna put he's gonna draw an angry face on the end of his tail, and that's gonna be the next watch.
I mean,
On the
Worse
wrecking
than-
ball and just set it right like in front of where his head was and put his head where his tail was and just go to sleep.
I mean, I very well could. I block off the staircase.
It does work in the wild. They see the face of something and they're like, oh, steer clear. See an angry snake tail, think it's
Breathe.
the head. Hi.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Uh-oh, my character sheet's not up. My bad. Let me get that up. Load faster, character sheet. Everyone's waiting for me. I said load faster. Bitch. Please.
Language.
I can talk however the fuck I want.
Not
See,
this
but then I do
sounds-
that and I get in trouble.
Meaning,
Jealous.
No, because I just do it anyway.
No, I was talking to Valor, but okay. 15.
With a 15, you kind of are walking to and from, doing your pacing, working on that pacing. You have an image of a vulture with a crossbow not being very reliable. You don't know why you have this image in your head, but you do.
Honestly,
Why
rude.
do? Oh my god! Why? Is that from Robin Hood?
The vulture
10
with
points
the
to
crossbow?
Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm Ravenclaw.
Bitch,
Ravenclaw.
being Ravenclaw.
Listen, Disney's, and I'm every single time I do those quizzes, I always get Ravenclaw.
But anyway,
Like, no matter what the fuck, I always get Ravenclaw.
well, maybe you're a Ravenclaw.
yeah, see? There you go.
I know.
It's a wild guess, but maybe.
Maybe I am.
At any rate, as you're walking up and down the hall and, keeping your ear out, you don't hear anything or see anything for most of the night. One thing you do kind of hear, though, is someone drunkenly stumbling and singing on the floor below you. What they're singing, you have no idea, mostly because you don't speak the language that they're singing in. However, you can tell that they are drunk because they are hitting both walls repeatedly. It's couple of lines, la di da di boom, la di da boom.
What fucking time is it for someone to be doing this kind of drunken foolery shit?
About 1 a.m.
Huh? Yeah, you gotta be real drunk though.
I mean,
Running into walls while singing? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
some
that's
of us
not
just
drunk
can't
enough.
keep balance. Damn it! Why you gotta make fun of
Listen.
us with poor balance?
No, he's just drunk.
Psh.
Listen, we have the 10 levels of drunkenness, and this guy right here might be just a 7. When we start getting to the 9 drunkenness, then we start getting concerned. And you may ask, what's 10? Oh, they're just sleeping at that point.
It's called alcohol poisoning?
No, probably. They might be dead. There's a 50-50 shot when you're at the 10 level. When you're at level 10.
I mean, at any rate. But this, aside from the drunken minstrel, nothing else.
Glad he's
jumped out
enjoying
at you.
himself.
And nothing else seems to be a problem. Just a drunken minstrel being a drunken minstrel. And less than an hour to go into your watch, Mithira, your watch comes to an end, and you go and rouse Niafta.
I was gonna say, or are you guys all in the same suite, or does Mithira have to go to
There are two suites. One where the guys are staying, one where the girls are staying.
Okay.
And
And do you need to go into the hallway or something?
No. Suites have more than one bedroom. It's part of why they're suites.
You can tell I've never been in a suite before.
It's okay. I've only ever rented out one suite, and I didn't even stay in it.
Oh, sad face.
Yeah, you know.
Hotel I'm in classifies the suite as better. This bedroom has 3 beds.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
There's some hotels that have suites, and I've always wanted to get one, but those things are mad expensive.
Yeah, sometimes. But
Thank God I'm not paying for the hotel.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
But at any rate, so Niafta, as you rouse for the evening, for those of you who can name that mechanic, go ahead and post it in chat, and you may get something. But for Niafta, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Yeah. I don't know why my character sheet is like having trouble.
It's okay, mine was too for a hot second.
Yeah, this is kind of done.
It's because Roll20 being a bitch today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Perception?
Yes, perception.
French language.
Perception.
Motherfucking cock shit, fuck, ass whore, cunt.
Demonetized.
Demonetized.
I wasn't monetized to fucking begin with.
I was gonna say, I think you have to
Nope.
have at least 1K subscribers on YouTube to be monetizable.
Probably.
Yeah.
And you have to
Did your
stream
hat
like
just get bigger?
No, I just tilted my head down.
No,
So you
look,
can
tilt your
see
head
more.
down again. Just look at his hat as he tilts down. Tilt it down again. I need to see this.
Well, it seems like I'm too sleepy to perceive shit.
He won't do it now. I'm mad. There.
oh,
See
the brim is just huge.
It just is normal size, and then he looks down, and it just goes a boom. It
That is
becomes boom. I love it.
Niafta,
It's the small things.
it is hard to stay awake. You're not used to pulling all-nighters like this. However, after a little while, you do hear a soft little tap, 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 tap against the glass of the window.
Ah. Huh.
I have
Someone to come close and take a look.
a
But I'm
question.
still like yawning.
I have an answer.
Would that wake me up?
No.
I'm in the hallway. Would I
'Cause
notice it?
This is the common room. You're in the other bedroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, it wouldn't be that loud.
Yeah, no.
I was like, how loud are we talking for the tap, tap, tap?
You have to, as you move to the window,
Mhm.
do you approach it stealthily and try to be quiet as you approach? Do you, like, rush over and throw open the window to surprise whoever's there? Or whatever's there?
No, I'm still like kind of sleepy, so I'm gonna approach just like normal and kind of sloppy.
Alright. So as you approach normal and kind of sloppy, you open the curtain and look down, and you see what is a little tiny clockwork thing.
Okay.
You've honestly never seen anything like this before, so you don't really have a good reference point. It does look like a bird, though,
Okay.
and it's tapping on the window.
Mm-hmm.
And as it continues to tap on the window, you notice that its eyes are blinking.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna knock it off. I'm gonna open the window, knock it off, and close the window.
Not me thinking it's like that bird alarm from The Incredibles.
As you open the window really quickly to knock it off the ledge, it falls down, and you kind of watch as it falls. After a minute or two, you can hear the whirring of gears as it begins to flap and try to fly back up to the window.
Oh wow, it flies.
It's a bird.
Yeah,
Bird.
say it looks like a bird.
It looked like a chicken to me.
Chickens can fly!
Chickens can also fly.
I don't call that flight.
Yeah.
Okay, domestic chickens can't fly.
Nah, you don't call that fly. They can jump. And they can.
You know
slow down
turkeys
their-
can fly,
They
right?
can slow down their fall
They do, and it
up
scares
in
me.
their wings, but that's not flying. That's just falling down slowly.
That's
I've
falling
seen a
with
full
style.
Flying with style.
I've seen a full-grown pheasant fly. That scared the shit out of me. I was like 10, and it like flew in the garage and took a fat dump on our garage door.
At any rate.
Okay, so is this thing and the eyes is still blinking? I don't trust that shit. I'm
Yes, the
still
eyes-
thinking-
The eyes are still blinking, and yes, it is making its way back to you.
Since I'm still half asleep, I'm not thinking. Like I'm not trying to make any reason or realization over it, but I don't trust it. Like I'm going with gut, so I'm just gonna keep knocking it off.
So like if you're
What
concerned,
kind of
like,
blinking? Like flashing lights blinking or like closing and opening?
No, like flashing red light blinking.
Okay,
like,
that's
if you're concerned, wake up Pip.
or any of the other party members.
So as you close the window again, the bird lands on the windowsill, and then you watch as it lands, and then you slam the window open again and knock it off.
Harder.
Yep, Mithira, go ahead and roll a go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw. Let's see if this wakes you up.
Mhm.
I
Would
mean,
this be
passive
noticeable
perception
to
would be
me at all in the
bad.
hallway?
No, not out in the hallway.
Okay.
a wisdom saving throw or perception at disadvantage?
Wisdom save.
Just do it. Obey the master.
I am.
As you roll, as you are sleeping, you keep hearing this repeated chunk, chunk, chunk.
The third one she'll get up.
That's
and
like
you
me
get-
with the dogs.
You get up and you make your way into the common room, and you see Niafta closing a window. And after like a few moments, you see some kind of bird with blinking red eyes, and then it lands on the windowsill, and she opens the window really fast and knocks the bird off, and you hear that chunk sound that's woke you up.
What are you doing?
My best.
That thing is.
You're not here.
Disappears.
Say that one more again, Niafta.
That thing is creepy. I want to keep it away.
You know the person you're guarding has lots of mechanical friends, correct?
Yeah, but she also has enemies. Who tells you that one of these inventors is not paid, but one of the perpetrators, whatever the word it is.
So why do you keep hitting it off and not just destroy it then?
How do I do that?
The slow blink! You break it.
Okay. So as the bird comes back up, we just catch it.
I mean, yeah, you can. It doesn't try to get away from you when you grab it.
I have a second
Right.
question.
Yes.
Are the eyes blinking in a pattern?
They're blinking in a steady rhythm.
Okay, I was like, it's like fucking Morse code or some shit.
No. Not Morse code, but
That was gonna be my guess. If it was like flash blinking, I was just
Yeah.
I take it with my
Why-
hand.
It's a
I'm
possibility.
like, okay, so if I rip its wings off and then I toss it down, will it fall and crash?
as you're holding on to it, you watch as its beak opens, and you hear a tiny little voice come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Guildmaster, we have found out more about Project Amphibious. Please respond as soon as you are able to let us know where to send further missives.
I've been watching Amphibia, and this threw me.
Ithera would be, hand me the bird. This is important for the Guildmaster.
Okay, have it.
I just imagine like this toss catch, like it's a fucking softball.
Yes, that seems about right. Niafta's tired. She doesn't like working late nights.
I'm usually awake, like when I work
After
late
just-
nights, it's at a bar.
Nafta just doesn't like work.
I mean, probably that too. But anyway, so you caught the bird. The bird doesn't try to fly at all.
All right, I will. How long have I been guarding Pip for?
About 4 or
So?
5 days or so.
What's the loudest you think I need to knock to wake her up without just like whack?
You can knock at a normal volume, and she seems to wake up just fine.
That's what I was asking. Like a gentle knock on the door.
Alright, so as you knock, you hear the clockwork gear tick and then stop, as you hear the soft padding of feet. And you see Pip open the door. Yes, what is it? She has one
Like-
eye open, she's wearing a dressing gown, and she's
Yeah.
got one of those nightcaps with the poof ball at the end of it, and like the poof ball is hanging in front of her face.
I love it.
This
I need
arrived
this
at the
Does she-
window for you and would gently hand her the mechanical bird.
She takes the bird and she then, like, with some fingers from her other hand, she winds up a small little gear until it won't wind anymore, and she lets it go. It then plays the message again, and oh, you actually see as she like brightens. She flips the puff ball behind her head.
It's like, wait, important.
That's good news. That's
Horrible.
good news. Yes. I will. Give me one moment.
And why is it covered in dirt? It looks like it fell out the window a few times.
Why is it so scuffed up?
She closes the door and takes the clockwork bird back in with her. After about 5 minutes or so, she emerges, walks over to the window in the common room, gives one final turn of a key before taking the key out of the bird and then letting it fly and take off, headed back to, you imagine, Zoleni. There we go. And she kind of looks to you, Niafta.
Mm-hmm.
If there comes another bird tomorrow night, do be sure to bring it straight to me.
Absolutely. I will remember this time. I had no idea.
Oh, it's quite
Let me know
alright.
if the clacking of my keyboard is too much. It's because I'm taking notes for the session.
It's quite alright, Niafta. I didn't tell you to expect it because, honestly, I wasn't expecting them to get back to me so quick. And, she then smiles. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to bed. And then, just kind of waves to the two of you. Good night. And, she closes the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to fall asleep on one of the big chairs in the common room.
Alright. Mithira does not even make it back to the bed. She just falls into one of the overstuffed armchairs and is just out as soon as she sits down, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Reese, your watch came to an end. You heard some talking. You heard some talking in the other room. However, the voices are ones you know, so you didn't think you needed to investigate.
But why the fuck are they up at 3 in the morning?
Switching shift?
I mean, yeah. That's...
No, they switch shift at 2. It is now an hour past their shift.
Were you awake for them switching shift?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you would be. But, at any rate...
Remember, it's a 2-person watch, and then there's a 3-person watch thingy, so it's gonna... I'm just there for the middleman.
Xavier comes out of the other room and basically tells you to get to sleep. As you do, he pats you on the head and then takes up his own watch, which, to no one's surprise, involves him laying on the opposite end of the hallway with his rifle pointed down hallway and just waiting to snipe someone's head off.
Honestly, mood.
I have a question for you, DM. Would this party expect Valor to take a room, or would he kind of be known to sleep wherever he is?
Who?
Would everyone here kind of expect Valor to sleep wherever, or would they kind of be, nah, he's gonna take a room?
You sleep in the boys' suite with us, bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're
Not what I meant.
You're with me and Xavier. Now get the
Alright,
fuck to
well,
bed.
Okay, well, I don't exactly need a bed. I am in bed.
That's what I was like, didn't we establish he fell asleep, like, at the front of the hallway?
It's kind of like thinking like.
No,
we
it was
just
a
kind
joke
like,
of one switching
bed.
shifts if we just use the tip of his tail as the second watch. Because he's so long.
Well, anyways, moving on.
as Niafta finishes her watch and as Xavier finishes his, the day has arrived, and
Okay.
it has started loudly.
Do we all have a full rest?
Yes, everybody has
Oh.
had a full rest.
Awesome.
You do hear, however, the loud sounds of explosions from outside. Though you realize these are like cannon blasts to like signal cannons. It is very
The party
Very
has
loud.
started.
It has started, baby.
Yep. And as it does, Pip eventually emerges from her room. She is wearing a big top hat with lots of clockwork gears and mechanisms going. She is wearing a lovely jacket that reaches down to her toes, so it would be a loincloth on any normal-sized person. Maybe a
Well,
maybe half a half skirt.
Or like a half vest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of. And also just lots of clockworks and gears moving on her jacket. Why or how, none of you are really sure. Even you're not really sure.
This with like sparkly eyes.
Even you're not sure, Mathira. Over her hands, however, she is wearing a pair of big old honking gloves that actually go all the. You can actually see they go over her coat sleeves and go all the way up to her shoulders, where they are strapped together across her, across the front and back of her shoulders. On them are more gears and intricate patterns, but on the back of each hand is a giant crystal that takes up the majority of the back of her hand.
What
Her
the
right hand is red.
carnation?
Her right hand has a red crystal. Her left hand has a blue one. She's wearing just a normal set of leather pants. Her boots are simple looking, though there is a curious crank near the ankles. Like on each boot, there is a crank. Like she could wind them up or crank them to do something.
Probably to make her taller or something.
But she looks to you, Niafta, and you, Mathira. Well, go rally the troops. We are off to opening ceremonies.
Does one of us stay with Pip?
One of you should.
Niafta. Mathira's like, do you want me to go get the boys, or do you want to? They're your friends.
You better go and get the guys.
I mean, having the new person go and get the other people would build rapport.
Yeah.
Or, maybe some of you sleep really terribly and might plan to hit somebody, so, don't hit Niafta.
Dude, that only happened one time.
Is Xavier in the hall when Mathira comes out?
I'm sure his shift finishes. There we go. Fish, yes.
He is in the hallway. He is still laying prone, looking down the barrel and sight of his rifle, and kind of looks up at you, and you notice the gun twitch a little bit towards your direction, and then he relaxes.
No.
You can put your toys away. Come on, we need to get the others.
Man, if you call these toys, I'm scared to think what you think of the festival.
Says Reeve as he stumbles out of the bedroom.
Good morning!
Oi, Reeve, wake the snake, yeah?
Okay, I'm excited for this. And you see him crack his knuckles. Oh, that hurt.
Creepy.
Are we gonna witness a
Neil, switch to
colonoscopy?
decaf.
You see Reeve, all of a sudden he has a bucket of water. No one knows where the bucket of water came from. You see ice in that bucket of water. No one knows where that came from either. And bringing this towards Valor. He's like slightly
First question.
Yes.
First question. Why is everyone assuming that the militarized snake is asleep right now?
Only Reeve thinks that. Everyone else probably knows, aside from Mathira, because she's still new. But Reeve is just like, I'm gonna wake up the snake with an ice water bath, because he kind of stinky.
And as you return to the room, Valor appears to be awake.
Aww.
Mathira would.
Water on you?
You'll get me one day, kid.
Huh.
Mathira would.
Maybe a party pooper, and the festival only just started. Ooh, maybe I can have a cool mechanical thing happen. I don't know much about the mechanical things, but everything's all cool and shiny. They're like a whole, it's like a school of goldfish.
Reeve, I'll put it to you this way. If you douse me with water, my armor will get rusty.
You will look just like the part of the steampunk people.
I'm amazed Reeve
Mithra-
knows the steampunk.
Right?
Methra, what is he talking about?
Goldfish in the ocean. You look like Pip because Pip has this color of rust.
But
Alright,
does that?
later.
It's copper,
I'm-
she says as she's in the hallway.
as like
I-
Kira's like opening the door for Pip and Niafta to come out.
Reeve just looks
I
over with
quit.
wide eyes, being like, "That's what color that is." I learned a new color today.
I quickly slither past Reeve, and as my tail, like the tip of my tail, is about to pass him, it wraps around Reeve and starts dragging him along.
Alright. Pip kind of looks at you guys. Alright then. Let's get going to the festival. And she leads the way out of the inn.
Do we get to dress up as cool as you?
One day.
You dress up in
Aw.
whatever you have.
Have anything?
Also, this is what I normally wear.
This
Well,
is what
the
you
hat.
normally wear?
The hat is the only affectation for the occasion. Normally I wear my goggles.
He just has like that starstruck eye look to him. He's like,
Starry-eyed.
starry-eyed look. There we go. This is cool. This is all new to him. He doesn't even know what the color copper is, so you know.
I mean, we live in an ocean world. It would usually be green. That's fair.
Yeah. The only similar color, which is why he keeps referring to goldfish, because that's the closest he can see it as. So he's excited.
So,
He's a happy little clam.
as you all emerge out of the inn and into the town, something interesting to note. The inn is down in Lower Gemnacle. And Lower Gemnacle is typically where all the workers are stationed and where the real work and backbone happens. However, you notice it's also where the festival is being held. Very little of the festival is being held in Upper Gemnacle. In fact, you imagine it's mostly people stay up there and then come down here. You're not sure why this is, though it is something to note. After all, there is a disconnect between Lower and Upper Gemnacle, so, having this little shindig down here is probably a boost to their, A, self-esteem, and B, to the feelings that Lower Gemnacle has. Exactly.
As this ship's bosun, I would like to direct the current guard party into what I would feel would be most beneficial in terms of guarding our client.
Okay, how do you want to set people up?
I would like to put the two ranged people on either side of her, Niafta and Mithra at the front, and myself at the back because I'm too long to be at the front.
Fair enough.
I was about to ask. I was like, and plus, if anyone wants to come up behind, they have a lot of snake to deal with.
They have a lot of snake to deal with.
Fair.
Because I don't think you want Pip's boots stomping on that tail.
I think Pip would be very insulted if she were to ride on the snake.
That-
Snake?
That's fair.
Can I ride on the snake?
When you're not doing your job.
You're currently grasping me still. Can you stop
No.
squeezing? I think my organs are gonna pop out of my nose.
I don't think that's how anatomy works.
Let him
I
burn.
don't know how, and I barely have a nose.
Yeah, anyways, I let go of Reeve and I direct people in the current order of which I feel will be best.
No worries. So kind of a loose diamond formation. So that works. And as you move through the town, there is the large row. This is a large walkway, very Japanese anime style, with the long paved walkway and the stalls on either side of it. Except, unlike in anime, they're not food stalls. These are the displays. These are where the tinkers and inventors are setting up for...
You said it was food.
I did not.
But
Pip did. Pip did say there'd be food.
There will be, but not on this particular spot.
sad face.
At any rate.
We have to remember Pip has a job to do as well.
Yes. And so Pip is walking down this line, and you can see that all the inventors turn and give her a bow or a salute, or, you know, some of the younger ones wave. As you notice, even children are presenting little tinkering items. You actually see a trio of dwarf children who are tinkering over some kind of contraption.
That's so cool.
I keep when you say dwarf children, I just imagine small young boys with beards.
Just
Boys-
imagine a dwarf,
Boys
but like
with
half
5 o'clock
size.
shadow.
Boys with 5 o'clock shadow.
On, how are you, little one? I'm 4. What?
Ooh.
I like how you stood down for the bit too.
You also note that there's a few goblins who seem to be tinkering on something. Ultimately speaking, it seems that anyone and everyone is welcome to participate. Though you probably imagine that it's going to be some harsh judgment. Which, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing. But, you know, it is something to note. Presently, though, Pip gets to the end where there's a large open, where the town square is. And in the town square, in the center of it, is a stage that has been constructed and placed there. She gets onto the stage. You guys are basically guided to stand behind the stage, behind her. Nyafta and Mithira are allowed to stand to either side of her, but that's about it. She's not alone here. There are 2 other judges, one of whom is a dwarf, and in fact, you all recognize this particular dwarf. This is Gulkis Neilbold, the mayor of Gemnackle.
Oh, we saw him once, right?
Oh fuck,
Yeah,
I forgot how to
it's
spell it. Golkis Mealborn.
Neebold.
Oh fuck.
I'm sure he was at the train station after the display incident.
Indeed, he was.
It's in the Roll20 chat.
He also acts
Oh,
as a
thank you.
foreman more than a mayor. He seems to be wanting to get down and dirty, and want to, you know, work. He is definitely a tinker by heart, though a mayor by election. It's kind of how being a mayor works. You have to be elected. You can actually see that he is dressed in his tinker's gear. You see a pair of big tinker's goggles with various lenses that can be flicked down. They look charred and well used. They're made of sturdy black leather. His work apron is almost as thick as armor. And you can see scorch marks, acid burns. This thing has seen a lot of use. But the things that top it off are the belts. He has 4 belts. 3 of which he's wearing as like actual belts, one kind of over the other. The other one is more like a bandolier that crosses his chest. And these are just filled to bursting with tools, hammers, knives, screwdrivers, mechanical contraptions that none of you know. And in the center of his chest is a massive watch that is constantly ticking the time. And he is dressed in what he considers to be his perfect fair attire. The other one is actually someone that none of you have seen before. This particular person is a Minotaur.
Ooh.
Mhm.
This is not the first Minotaur some of you have seen, but it is definitely one of the first tours any of you have seen here in Gemnackle. This tour is very tall, is shirtless, and strapped to his back is a massive wrench that is almost the size of him.
Ratchet, is that you?
Daddy? Sorry.
You see that his pants are made of leather, brown in color, and he definitely looks like he's been in a few accidents, as there's scars and pockmarks and various things all over his chest. But the thing that really stands out is he's clearly not only a inventor, but he's also a miner. As you can see, the perpetual, like, grimy like rock dust that has just covered him at points in his life. His horns are short. In fact, they are actually shaved off for the most part. He has trimmed them. Kind of think like Hellboy. He keeps them shaved down and out of the way. But
Help
he...
with
I mean,
minor.
that would make sense if he's a minor.
And the one earring he has in his left ear is actually a gear. You can actually like count the grooves in it. And as Pip arrives on stage, she actually like looks to her other fellow judges. Gulkiss, it's so good to see you again, and nice to know that you're staying out of the office as much as possible. Aye, well, they elected me mayor. They didn't say I had to sit and do the job. I told them I didn't want it. Well, that's quite all right. After all, you're a better tinker than a mayor. Aye, I'd almost be insulted if I didn't take it as a compliment. And Thra, I must say I am impressed. It's good to see you. And how's your project coming along? Oh, that's wonderful news. I hope you don't hit anyone with that massive wrench this year.
This year.
She kind of looks to you, Mithira, as you say this year, and she nods. Thaw has a bit of a temper. Isn't that right?
Is anyone else having trouble understanding him?
I understand every word.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But she smiles and reaches up and like pats his upper thigh, because that's all she can reach. Well, you just make sure you keep that wrench right where it's supposed to be, and don't kill anyone with it. He just sighs, but again he nods, and you can hear this grunt of assent or dissent. You're honestly not sure, but it's a grunt. And Pip seems to take this as the gospel and just is content to move on and sit in her waiting chair.
Valor is kind of just like, he's kind of has his like fingers clasped together with two up, and he's kind of like pressing them to his lips, and then just goes, "What do you say?"
As you ask that question, Pip looks at you. What he needed to.
What he needed to.
So you understood him then?
Of course I understood him. He was
Hey,
speaking plain common.
All I heard was grunts.
Grunting is common. She
I
just looks at you
suppose.
like you're crazy.
I'm sorry. I love that. Grunting's common. He comes to mind.
Like, well, Yeah. Okay.
When you put it that way.
I'm just gonna pretend that you guys had a very long, in-depth conversation and just leave it at that.
How dare conversations must be long and in depth.
In depth. Conversations
Till
must
death
be
do us
in
part.
depth.
Someone must die every conversation. Yeah, that was a great.
Oh, I heard deaf, like you can't hear.
Oh.
All
I'm having
conversations
moments.
someone must end in, silence, as one of the other party members can no longer hear.
But, Nyefta, as you're
Yeah.
standing on the stage, you can see, you can actually see Zinnia, the gnome mage. She is moving around as an organizer and seems to actually be taking people's registration and registering them, their inventions, etc. And she's doing so just to the right, bottom right of the stage. After about 5 minutes or so, Malcolm, excuse me. It is Malcon, Malcolm. Dressed in a very dapper suit, steps onto the stage and pulls out a ring. This metal ring in his hand is crisscrossed with mesh, and he holds it up to his mouth, and as he speaks into it, his voice seems to come from everywhere.
I love that. That's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, visitors from all over, welcome to the annual Gemnacle Festival of Inventors! You hear cheering from all over Gemnacle.
Poor Reeve. He has his hands over his ears.
Valor's,
He's
Valor's
happy
used to this
everyone's
level of
happy,
loud
but
noise.
he don't like this level of noise.
Valor's used to this level of noise.
He's not used to any of this shit. Where's my ocean? I want to go back.
Thought you
I
liked
am your
festivals.
master of ceremonies this year, Malkin Pharos. It is my absolute pleasure to meet all of you. Our judges for this year are no less noble, no less known, and even better mechanical masters than I ever could be. Allow me to introduce them to you. First, we have Thaw, the Minotaur Mechanist. Another Rah! You actually see like a small throng of like 3 minotaurs, one of which is female, like all give a loud bellowing, "Rrrr!" And like the males are pounding their chests while the female is just throwing her fists into the air. Very much World of Warcraft, Tauren cheering.
Well, I imagine that if the female were to pound her chest, it would hurt.
I mean, it might hurt for the
Well, I
males
do
too. You
before
don't know.
top surgery. I was able to do that before top surgery, so no.
At any rate, he then continues. Our judge earned his spot at last year's competition, where he not only single-handedly destroyed a wild machine that had gotten out of control, but he won the contest with his mechanical mastery of, well, wrenches. And you watch as Thaw lifts up his wrench, and then you watch as there's a mysterious handle by the bottom of it. He grabs it and pulls, and you hear a revving sound as the wrench begins to rev up like it has a motor in it.
That's my only term.
As he swings it around, you watch as it glows red hot on most of it, and you can hear like almost like a chainsaw noise coming from it, but you don't see a blade. And again, the crowd cheers. He then flicks a switch with a thumb and then puts it onto his back again. And of course, you elected him, you know him, you love him. Give it up for Mayor Gulkus Niebold. Another cheer goes up, and Gulkus stands up and waves and is, very respectful. And of course, our final judge, last but certainly never least, the founder of this Festival of Inventors, the very first winner of this Festival of Inventors, and the chief guild who brings to you the mechanical marvels that make your everyday life easier. Please give it up for Guildmaster Pip Cogsgroove! And this is the loudest cheer yet. A huge applause goes up, and Pip actually reaches down and spins the cranks on her ankles, and you actually watch as she levitates several feet above the stage to wave and be seen. And then after a few moments, you actually watch as the cranks begin to spin in the other direction and slowly lower her back down.
I would like to scan the crowd for anyone who's not cheering.
Roll a
Not me,
perception
my
check.
hand.
Reeve, are you doing anything aside from covering your ears?
Obviously, yeah, I'm looking around.
Perception check disadvantage.
Just because things are loud and I have hands over my ears does not mean
You're also squinting because loud noises causes you to squint.
shit.
You
know my neurodivergency.
I thought you liked festivals, Reeve. Can I check the rooftop?
Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
Can I, while Valor is scanning the crowd, can I scan the rooftops?
Certainly. Roll a perception
Like
check.
keeping an eye out for where people shouldn't be, rather? Perception.
And Niefta, are you also looking out at the crowd?
Will
Yeah.
say when Mathira says, "I thought
Perception.
you liked."
Check if there is anybody like suspicious looking
Ooh, in that case, roll a insight check.
inside.
Will say that when Mathira tells Reeve, "I thought you liked festivals," Reeve's like, "I like the ones in the ocean."
Can I get the help action from Xavier?
Sure.
I'll just stick with my 10. He's not.
So, Reeve,
Hi.
you see lots of people coming and going. Nobody looking, out of place or suspicious yet. Valor, you notice that there are a lot of strangers here. This town is mostly a dwarf population. A dwarf, gnome, and halfling population, to be exact. In fact, those three make up the majority of the population of both the upper city and the lower city. However, you are seeing now a lot of humans, a lot of minotaurs, a fair number of goblins, and just more non-native people. Now, keep in mind, Gemnackle is not a super small town. It is a town. It has a population of 37,000 people. 8,000 in the lower city, 29,000 in the upper. It is not a small city or a small town by any stretch of the imagination. But again, just a lot of out-of-towners have also flooded here.
So I can't.
Which
I
is both
can't quite
interesting
notice.
and concerning because,
Out of towners post risk.
Exactly, but also Zoleni is supposed to be blockaded. So where did all these people come from if not Zoleni? Which again, is
Concerning.
Yeah, has its own.
But
concern.
still, I don't notice anybody who's not cheering for it.
The only one you notice who's not really cheering is a familiar face, is Dr. Robotic. He is actually standing off to the side with Bunny, clearly waiting to register an invention. Or at least it seems to be like he's waiting to register an invention. But he just has his arms crossed and is just tapping his foot, you imagine, in impatience. Bunny is also not clapping, and she's just kind of looking and watching him. and her hands are surreptitiously tucked behind her back.
Well, from what I noticed with Bunny, she didn't seem to have a whole lot of emotion left in her, so her lacking any sort of cheer is normal to me.
Exactly.
Robotic, or he's already sus.
He's sus. He's a susticle.
You're looking kind of sus, Donald.
Jesus. Don't do that again.
But yeah, so aside from robotic, there is no one that I
No one
can
that you
see
can see.
within. No one that I can see within this crowd of possibly thousands that I can discern who's not cheering. Granted, there's a lot of faces to go through, so it'd take forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of faces to go through. There's a lot of bodies to look through, so yeah.
Wait, there's one other body. Who died?
It's hard to see people who are clapping behind someone else. Because clapping
Gee,
doesn't
man,
require you to lift your hands higher than
it.
please.
Oh, I was making a joke.
You're bad at jokes.
This was established since you've known me. Come on.
I know, I'm just reminding the audience.
I'm also letting you know that you were really shit at jokes.
That's-
You're
The
so
best you
mean.
got are the
Oh.
best you got are flirting jokes, and even then, those are low hanging fruit.
Ouch.
Mithira,
you.
as you look out over the crowd and as you look out, you do see people on rooftops. However, most of them are children.
Mhm.
They've scampered up to get a better view of the stage. You actually see like a couple of human kids with like telescopes. They're like, got their eye to the glass and are looking and watching the stage. Some have the little some have binoculars. Some actually, there's one girl who's in a dress who's on a second-story balcony. She actually has opera glasses.
I love that.
But the only people who are up on the roofs are people who got there. However, you do notice something else. Xavier is also scanning the rooftops. You imagine from his skill set, he is keeping track of sniper perches, or where he thinks a sniper would most likely take a vantage point.
Boy, he is the sniper.
And you also notice that he is pretty much ready to draw and fire should some shit go down.
Now let's see who
Nyafta,
the sniper is. Oh, it's me.
Nyafta, you do notice one shady individual.
Mhm.
He is cloaked, so you cannot see much of him other than he has a beard.
Mhm.
The beard is just past his upper chest, so it's not super long, but it is still a pretty nice looking one. But his cloak is pulled so low that you cannot see his face. He is tall, so that rules out dwarves, it rules out gnomes, goblins, and other things. He's not quite as tall as a minotaur, and you have enough in the crowd to kind of judge the reference there. So you're not 100% sure what he is. But as soon as he sees you notice him, and he does take notice that you saw him, he slips back between a pair of buildings into the shadow, and you lose track of him pretty quick.
Okay. I'm gonna try and remember that guy.
The cloak itself was brown in color, kind of the same brown that most of the buildings are made from, or painted rather. Kind of a stony brown. The only other thing you noticed about him was that on his hip, he is wearing a sword.
Okay.
It is a rapier. It is a dueling sword.
Oh, okay.
Good God, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What's color his beard?
His beard was salt and pepper. Black and gray.
That's even more sketchy.
Salt and pepper beards are sketchy. You heard it here first, folks. Salt and pepper beards mean you're sus.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Hey man, I don't much like drawings either. They're sketchy.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up! Shut
Wow.
the fuck up! I can't believe you!
I'm gonna receive hell for that later.
That joke was like paper. Terrible.
I know, right?
That was a good
I am
one.
drawing your tier art for your Patreon, Blaze!
Yes, as payment for being in one of my sessions. Yep.
I saw an opportunity and I took it. I'm sorry.
But at any rate, as the cheering dies down, the Malcolm resumes his speech and his talking. Those of you wishing to enter into this year's competition, please make your way to the stage where Zinnia Reese, our mayor of Lower Gemnacle. And you actually watch as she turns, looks, and frowns. Excuse me. Our chief logistics officer of Lower Gemnacle is currently taking submissions and applications. If you have received a pause or temporary forbiddance from the competition, please do not try. We know who you are, what you look like, and what your friends look like. If you have received a lifetime ban, I hope you enjoy the show. And again, please don't try. We know who you are, where you are, and what you're looking at.
Yes.
Now, today will just be the registration, though the judges will be making their way around and may ask for a demonstration of their own private viewing. Some of you lucky contestants may have won the honor last year as the runner-up and the third place winner in order to showcase your invention a day early. Those of you who have won that honor know who you are, and do not worry, the judges will be around shortly. If you are ready, however, now, then by all means approach the stage and let us know.
Quick,
Go.
quick question.
Yes.
I wasn't part of the party when we found this happened, but the other group that was guarding the other judges,
Yes.
where are they while we're on? Well, a few.
They are nowhere to be seen. The only
also
one
missing-
of them that is to be seen.
died.
The only one of them that is to be seen is actually standing behind the stage with you guys, and he is a mage, of some description. You know that from the big book, from the scrolls, and from just the robes and the general maginess. He stands out.
Yeah.
But you do notice he is holding on to a small crystal shard and is muttering under his breath and seems to be concentrating on something. With his entire being, he is concentrating.
Aren't we also missing a judge? Isn't there supposed to be a fourth one that's arriving on the day of judging?
I thought that was the announcer. Malkin? Yes, that one.
So, you are not incorrect in that is what you were told. However, you also know that Pip, who was supposed to arrive on the day of judging, actually changed her plans and arrived early. Hence why they scrambled to find a bodyguard unit for her. And that's where you guys got your offer. But no, you are 100% correct, Vex, is that was the original plan. But due to, she actually told you that because she knows that Graf is trying to kill her, she's purposely started to change the way she operates and what she's doing and when she's doing it to try and thwart him.
Yeah, she's acting out of character in order to make his plans seem more erratic.
And not only that, to make it harder for him to succeed and more
No,
likely to slip.
I just remember the last session, the group of who were they called? They had a name.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember off the top of my head. It was the same name as the drink.
The battering rams.
Thank you.
Yes.
But they were supposed to guard a very shy and timid-looking judge when he came around, because he didn't seem to have any plans.
You are very correct. And you do not see him. You do not see. You do not see any other judge. You just see the three.
Interesting.
So, as Malkin seems to be winding down, he looks out over the ground. We all hope that this will be another productive festival, and as a general reminder, all mining and work operations are suspended with pay until the end of the festival.
Oh, so this is definitely in America.
You're right, it's Vodari. Shush. Also, fun fact, most jobs get paid for holidays.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Some of us just have to work it as well as getting paid for it. Bunch of bastards. But anyway. He then, please enjoy the festivities, and please remember that we can all work together to bring a brighter tomorrow. He then seems to flick a switch on top of the sphere, or on top of the little disc that you didn't notice before, and then he turns and approaches the judges. Well, it is so good to see all of you again. Guildmaster Pip, I am so glad you could make it. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I've been to every Tinker's festival since I made the things. Besides, I can't let the new technology come out and not be the first to see it. Yes, I do apologize if the extra security seems a bit unnecessary. We have had some strange incidents. Nonsense, Malkin, I requested the extra security myself. Oh, well, I was unaware, as you were meant to be. People who needed to know did. Malkin, you are a fine man, and one day you may be mayor of either Upper or Lower Gemnackle, but as of right now, you are still just one of the more public figures. I do not have to explain myself or my whereabouts to you. You actually see Mithira and Nyafta. You actually see a bit of red come to his face. Though whether embarrassment or anger, that would require an insight check. You cannot tell, Nyafta. Humans and their odd coloring. They're a bunch of crayons. Mithira, you can easily tell that it's anger.
I was expecting you just to go crayons.
But at any rate, Mithira, you can definitely tell that it is anger that is coloring his face right now. He is doing well to hide it, though. Aside from the intentional initial flushing of his, of his cheeks and his brow, but he kind of clears his throat. Yes, well, we are glad to have you, as always, and I hope that you find this year's competition to be exciting. After all, I hear there are some changes happening in Zoleni. One hears many things from many sources, but I would encourage you to remember that we are a city of progress. Change is inevitable and happens fairly often. I hear that the machinists are making gears for war. No, not while I have anything to say about it. Ah, well, my mistake. I just thought that with the Guild of Fuels being ever I did not come to discuss politics. I came to judge my fellow inventors in their brilliance, and to let them know that they are the future of Zuleni. Now then, she stands up abruptly. I have exhibits to view, and I have tinkerers to talk to. She looks to the other two. Golkis and Thaw, I will see you at the first of the private displays in 2 hours. The mayor nods. Aye, see you there. And she then just looks to the lot of you and waves for you to follow as she all but storms off the stage, clearly in a huff. Despite her little legs, you actually have to jog a couple paces to catch up to her, as she has put on some incredible speed to get away.
I wish I could jog.
Okay, fine. Slither faster.
How fast is she moving?
Probably at
About 30
least.
feet.
She moves about as fast as any of the regular tall folk.
Wait.
okay.
I got a gift that I can think of for this.
But as soon as she's off the stage, you notice that around the town square and around, basically in the fields nearby, there are stands going up where people are selling food and drink. In fact, you actually see the battering rams, and you know them from their massive battering ram logo, and they are holding a stall as well. Their stall is selling fried cheese and battering ram. Though you notice that someone in very sloppy penmanship has painted in the words light and spelled it ITTTE underneath where it says battering ram.
Battering ram light.
Yes.
I love that. What makes it light?
Probably it's like half water.
No, it's probably like a tenth water.
Tends to be what makes. No, they tend to add more chemicals to it.
You actually watch as Pip makes her way over to the battering ram stall. And she just looks up.
I keep on her right.
She kind of looks up. Well, Joff. Oh, if it ain't the little Pip, I can drink with the best of 'em and the tallest of 'em. I'm not in the mood, Joff. Just give me a battering ram and give me a cheddar. Oh, aye. I can do that. And you hear as oil begins to fry, and you watch as he pours. It's not quite the tar-like consistency of the battering ram that those of you know. This stuff has the consistency of molasses. It actually pours. And
It actually pours.
it does. Regular battering ram is made and drunk, quote-unquote drunk, out of the mug that it was made in. Because you can't really get it
frozen
out.
honey.
You have to eat it with a spoon.
Almost.
The only thing I think of is like the frozen honey meme where you like squeeze like really cold honey and it just slowly pours out.
Yep. But as he fills up a tankard about halfway, you watch as he takes an ale and pours and fills the rest of it with ale. He takes out a strange-looking metal device. Flicks it once, it begins to spin rapidly. He puts it in the drink, and you watch as a tornado quickly forms. He then flicks it against the glass. You hear, or the stein, you hear tink. And he then pulls it out and hands the mug down. And then hands her a small, though still obscene, block of fried cheddar cheese on a stick. And she takes it and she bites the cheese just in half. Just bites it. You can see that she's like like breathing on it through her teeth as she pulls and this cheese stretches. But she seems to relax, like her tension seems to drop several levels. And she looks to the rest of you. Want some?
No, thank you.
But he's just
isn't
staring
good for
at
my
it.
diet.
What is it?
Cheese!
What's that? Is it a type of fish?
No, it's milk that's been pasteurized and made into another substance altogether that tastes better than milk.
Can fish produce milk? Is it fish milk cheese?
What? No.
Oh, I can only eat fish. If not, I violently throw up everywhere.
Then none for you. She looks to
Bad
you.
face.
She looks to you, Niafta, and you, Mithira. Cheese?
Try some.
Make that 2 more cheddars. And then she tosses up a gold coin. And Joff catches it. Oh, thank you kindly. Generous as always. And, how's things going in Zoleni? You know as well as I do how they're going. I'm sure your bully boys there have kept you well informed. You and your insufferable boss. Oh, now Otto's not all that bad. He's just big. She just glares at him. So that was before you was, famous and whatnot. You can't blame a man for old times. He threw me over 3 stories. Yeah, but you landed on your balcony. You're fine. I'm not a shot put. He's just a drop too much of the ram in him. Mm-hmm.
He did what?
Oh, so back when this little wee sprite was living in one of the common houses, she was living on the 4th floor, was it? And she nods. Well, someone got it in her mind to lock her door from the inside and then scamper out. So she couldn't get through the door, and Otto is a little big for the size of the accommodations. So he grabbed her and tossed her up to the 4th floor balcony.
Damn, I'd be pissed too if you threw me. I can't fly.
She landed on the balcony. She fine. No broken bones.
She didn't break her neck.
She fine. After all, look at her. We're talking to her now. You just watch as the guildmaster's eating her cheese angrily eating her cheese. Though it doesn't work because every time she bites and pulls away, there's that string that connects her to the cheese.
And it doesn't look that threatening.
Mozzarella cheese angrily. You should see my girlfriend.
However, Niafta and Mithira, you're both given a similar block of cheese that has been deep fried. The breading actually has flavor to it. There's a little bit of spice. There's a little bit of crunch. There's actually a lot of bit of crunch.
It's like a mozzarella stick on a stick, I imagine.
It's a mozzarella stick on crack.
I love that.
I think I would order a drink from here, but it will do nothing for me. So
I'd also avoid the ram if you're planning to guard, Oh, these are guards, is it?
Sir, I could drink the ram for days and it would not.
Oh yeah, you're that snaky boy that drank the ram. Yeah, that's not really fair.
Hence why I won't order.
Good. Because I won't serve you nowhere.
Can I get a water at least?
He points in the direction of the fountain in the town square. There's your water.
There's your
Aren't you charming?
I'm sorry, I haven't drank water in ever.
That explains so much.
Aye. And he just nods. Meanwhile, Pip finishes her tankard, puts it back on the table, and then begins to walk off. Come along, then. We have other exhibits to see.
Forgive me
Follow
for
as
asking.
leading.
Forgive me for asking this, Pip. But why are you so upset about these baseless rumors?
Baseless rumors about my Machinists Guild helping the Guild of Fuels? Because power lies where people believe it does, Master Valor. And if people believe that I am helping the Guild of Fuels, there are two reactions. There is good about time those tinkers did something useful. Or how could they turn their art, their craft, their tools for creating a better tomorrow to slaughtering elves?
When did this become slaughtering elves?
Oh, I forget. You're not from here. Do you know of the island of Naft?
Very familiar. Isle of Naft.
Yes, the island of Naft.
I can't say I've traveled there, no.
Not me trying to find it on the map before it's pinged. No! So I was looking near Lorthak and Gak for some odd fucking reason. So when I then turn over and see the ping, I got mad.
Yes,
I was trying to find it.
I can't say I've traveled there, but I did hear something about a what was it? A logging operation that was held there.
To call that logging is an insult to both loggers and a underestimation of the wholesale slaughtering that is going on the island of Naft.
I only am telling you what I heard, madam.
Yes, well, I apologize. It has been a trying few months. Let me begin. Zoleni
I'm ready.
encouraged the Guild of Fuels, encouraged by the Guild of Fuels, has landed on the island of Naft. Now, normally speaking, it is not necessarily a terrible thing that we land there. After all, Naft is technically part of Zolen and part of the city of Zoleni. It's one of our territories. However, the Naftins, the people who live on Naft, are very much nature-driven. They are druids, for the most part, and most of them are either half-elves or full elves who have immigrated to Naft from Silvertree, and Silvari in general. On the island of Naft, there is... On the island of Naft, things are different, and there are many trees there. The Guild of Fuels wants all the trees because tree burning is fuel. As such, they are taking clear cutting. They are going to take all of the island's trees and then root the trees out and then plant more? Maybe. I doubt it. But the point is that by the time they've done that, they will have also had to kill the Naftins, as the Naftins have refused to allow this to go unanswered for. For every tree stolen, they abduct a member of a survey or a lumber crew. And while the Naftins are currently trying to drive off us, equal harm is being done upon any Naftin who is caught. You can imagine the bloodshed that is going on there. It is an unofficial civil war and an official slaughter. The High Priests of Naft are striking back with their own heavy artillery as well. After all, the warships that the Guild of Fuels has demanded have made it all but impossible for the Naftins to come approaching the shores, and have driven them further in. the druids have begun to erect a ritual to bring the island itself to life. There is a gargantuan earth elemental that has been summoned and is controlled to attack the Guild of Fuels and anyone else who happens to be there. Anyone who is not a Naftin is under threat by this giant, gargantuan behemoth. I honestly don't blame them. However, I also cannot sit idly by while this is going on. This is horrendous. And so, if people believe that the Guild of Fuels is forcing the other guilds to help, then that is power. Hope and Gemknackle may bow to the will of the Guild of Fuels without me even having anything to do with it. After all, power is an illusion. It resides where people believe it does. I am hoping to appeal to Nicodemus at the next Guildmasters meeting. He is the head of the Alchemists Guild. I am hoping to appeal to him for sanity. My only ally right now is Halas Faraday, and Faraday will not venture out of his laboratories until such a time as I can guarantee his safety. And unfortunately, I cannot do that. And with the additional problem of the blockade, there's just... Zeleny is facing a crisis, and I seem to be the only one who wants to end it peacefully. If Graf has his way, we will be bathed in blood and war and destruction. I've already had to stop 3 separate attempts to poison Zeleny Bay.
I fear that if the master of the Guild of Fuels is not stopped, the entire island will not be bathed in blood, but water.
Point remains is that I have to get back to do what I'm doing. However, if I bring more people into my guild, just by sheer weight of numbers, I will have a better vote. So, that is why I attended the festival, despite all the busy stuff I have to do. And so when I hear rumors that my guild is supporting the Guild of Fuels, yes, I take that not only personally, but I get a little upset. You would too. After all, keep in mind, it is my whole reputation on the line here.
Well, if my people have faced their share of persecution, I do understand.
With that, she nods. And as you guys finish talking, you're actually back at the Tinker's Row. She then looks to the trio of dwarves and smiles. Now, what do you 3 have to show me? You see as they turn and, are a little nervous, but, one of them, and he falls into Dwarvish. Do any of you speak Dwarvish?
Wait. No.
No.
Well, as he laps into Dwarvish, a stuttering mess, she just smiles and replies, "By all means, show me." And he seems to gather some courage. Mindy. And you see that one of the dwarves is actually a girl. And she rushes over and pulls off the tarp. And you see a pack. A set of canisters tied to and fused to a harness-like construction, along with a massive hose on one side. On the other side, there is another hose with a nozzle. And you actually see the dwarf boy who was speaking actually kind of go back to tinker with the pack. You then watch as the Aryan water dwarf boy who is there. He actually begins speaking. Allow us to present to you the Orion Fire Suppression System. Oh? Yes, industrial fires are some of the most notorious to put out, and as such require very specialized chemicals and substances in order to extinguish efficiently. Water is not always the best extinguisher of flames. Smart. The firefighter, as we are calling them. Inventive name.
I love it.
They will put on the pack like so, and you watch as the female dwarf, who is a mountain dwarf, she puts on the harness, she straps it to herself, and she lowers a pair of goggles. Meanwhile, the hill dwarf, yes, you have all three dwarf races working together here.
So glad.
He walks over to a large oil drum and lights it on fire. And you actually watch as the oil inside becomes lit pretty easily. The firefighter here will approach the flame, pulling on these nozzles with these specially designed handles that are designed to fit comfortably. Almost like the grip of a weapon or a gun. And sure enough, she's got them kind of like a police baton hold with the nozzles pointing out in front of her. And then with a simple push of the buttons, you watch as she presses down on the buttons. And out of one, a white foam-like substance is shot out as an incredible torrent. On the other one, a greenish-bluish, viscous-looking liquid is also shot out. And as they mix, they form this paste almost that in a matter of seconds quickly smothers the oil, smothers the fire, and you actually watch as the barrel freezes slightly. Due to a little endothermic reaction, all of the heat from the fire is absorbed into the paste, and thus, ta-da! And they stop. Ta-da! No more fire. You then hear a click, 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 click. It's not turning off. They all look, and you watch as she continues to like hold the nozzles and spray, and after like 30 seconds of them trying and fiddling with the pack, you notice that the substances just kind of drip to a stop into a little puddle at her feet. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be able to handle at least 10 different bursts of shot. We're having some trouble with the stopping mechanisms, the cutoffs, if you will. I see. And you watch as Pip walks over to the paste, and she picks up a handful of it. And as she does, you watch as her glove begins to glow. And then she holds out her left hand, and you watch as words begin to appear above the crystal in her left hand in blue like text. I see. So this is okay. What a very interesting reaction between these chemicals. I've never thought of it myself. And she smiles as she looks at the three. This stuff is honestly. And she actually, you watch as she takes the paste and she stretches it. I could actually think of not only a fire retardant application for this, but I could also think of an economic option for this, as a temporary sealant, if you will. Well, yes, the stuff is completely waterproof and liquid-proof. It also can form an airtight barrier. That's how it smothers fire, after all. A fire needs three things. Heat, fuel, and oxygen. Indeed it does. And your endothermic reaction sucks away the heat. The thickness of the material seals it away from the air, and the sponginess of it all will definitely seep into the, fuel and dampen it and make it less likely to ignite. very impressive. Tomorrow, make sure that you have it ready to go again. The other judges will happily look in with me. You may have a chance to win this yet. And they all like look at each other and like, and you see them whispering to each other. But you also watch as she, do me one favor though, do not burn anything else. The oil drum is fine, just do not set fire to anything else. I don't want to have to put your system into place before we can turn it off. Oh, yes, of course! She smiles and she gives them a little salute with her hat and carry on then. And, try a ball valve instead of whatever typical valve you're using. You might have better luck. They seem to mutter to themselves and each other, and as Pip walks away, she kind of looks to you, Niafta, and smiles. I love to watch young minds at work.
As we're walking away, Valor's kind of thinking to himself, and then he kind of peeks back at that display and then looks over at Pip. I don't see that having a very good transportation method.
The chemicals that they're using are stable, so even if the tanks were punctured, it wouldn't cause that much of a problem. It is actually the reaction of the two chemicals being mixed together in that high-pressured spray that causes the reaction. As far as transportation...
No, that's not what I meant. It looked like it was bulky. It wouldn't be easy to get from point A to point B very quickly.
Well,
You don't look like you're easy to go from point A to point B quickly, and here you are.
There's a lot of me to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
She smiles. You're not wrong there. However, for a dwarf build, which is clearly who they designed this product for dwarves it would be actually fairly easy for them to move it. Dwarves by nature are stocky and sturdy folk, and they don't typically suffer any penalties when it comes to wearing large loads and moving them about. Hence why they make such great miners. They can carry a lot more than their size would indicate.
I'm just thinking you could put a larger quantity of botanical onto it.
I certainly agree.
You were a judge.
I'm just thinking aloud.
And he's not thinking poorly. These are actually good ideas. And I have already thought of ways to improve the design. But I have to let them win first.
Reeve looks again to Valor and is like, how much do you know about Tinkerer stuff? Or engineer, or all this stuff? I thought you were a soldier. And like the little...
They make you read on the ship.
Ooh. Did you want to be something like this, or did you choose to be a soldier?
It was a choice.
If you didn't
One
have
I had
to
to
be
make for my family.
If you weren't a soldier, would you have joined this guild?
If I wasn't a soldier, I'm pretty sure I would have starved to death.
Guildmaster! You watch as she stops and turns and looks, and you all see Dr. Robotic approaching.
Oh no!
And he looks a little upset. And that is where we will pick up next time.
What do you mean?
Oh, shit's about to go.
However, with that, I would like to thank you, my fantastic audience, for watching and for participating in today's events. Certainly thank you for tuning in. We do apologize that the show started a little bit later than normal. We just all had to, things to do. But
Technical difficulties and such.
Yep. But we are happy that it went off nonetheless, and I am happy to be back in the Seas of Vodari, as there is lots of fun ahead. Again, since Tahoe and Carson City, by extension, are having the shittiest winter for a while,
Yep.
There are videos on TikTok even of men walking off their roofs into snowbanks and being just fine, and being able to walk all the way down to their garage. That was
I
a
get that,
fun
but
video.
I get that for the Minneapolis and Minnesota TikTok weather. I built a snowman. It was fun.
We
But-
have like 6 feet in Tahoe.
Even
If
more than
not-
that.
That's the short end.
I was gonna say that's the shorter end of that. But
Sounds like Canada.
with all that, and with work being busy these last couple weeks, I have unfortunately been unable to run these games with any consistency. But such is life. The bane of every DM's and D&D players' experience is life. Why life?
Scheduling.
But thank you all so very much for tuning in today. And of course, I could not do this alone. Of course, with me, as always, is my fantastic cast of characters, and I shall introduce them. We have Mr. Eric playing Mithira, our sun-reach merfolk monk.
Hi.
We have the
Can't wait for the monk to
lovely
do that
Laura playing our ever-lovely bard Niafta, the tiefling.
Yep, I'm trying. Today I was like kind of dumb. Like Mithria make me look stupid. Really.
No,
Aw.
you're
Sorry.
beautiful.
I didn't say ugly. I said stupid.
Be kind to yourself, or else.
Or else.
Of course, we have Mr. Emil playing Reeve, our siren ranger.
Indeed, I am. I'm currently drawing Mithira, so I'm
Thanks.
excited for that. I
Thank
find it
you.
really cute because Mithira is like all fire, and then Reeve is like all water, so it's like a fire and ice kind of thing. And I'm kind of enjoying it. Plus,
We-
Reeve's slightly taller, and I have a really cute piece I'm drawing. They look so silly.
We then, of course, last but certainly not least, have Vex playing Valor, our Yuan-Ti paladin.
A lot of questions and not a lot of answers.
Indeed, lots of questions, no answers.
It's a lot of politics.
Indeed.
That's why I had to write shit down.
Like Laura. Laura makes the world go round.
But
La,
I
la,
have been your
la,
master
la.
of the seas and your head physician on this particular surgery, Dr. John Wolfenstein, and we will see you next time